In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to start from scratch an Airtable grid and how to use it so you can create some sort of a project. So I'm creating a blog project basically to manage with my virtual assistant. So I'm going to click on Add Base, Start from Scratch. I always go to Start from Scratch. You can always explore templates. I'm going to call this project Blogs. Now you can pick something that's relevant like this picture. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. I just do it so it looks different to something else. Now, there are different things that you can use. You can play around and see there's different type of columns you can use. In my case right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a blog like that, where I'm basically going to find different things that inspire me online. So for example, this blog about Kajabi's affiliate program is inspiring to me. So I'm going to now give it a name, Kajabi affiliate program, and I'm going to want to create a blog that is competitive to that particular thing. Okay, so that's an example, and this is a to-do. Right now on the statuses, I can actually create a whole process. So to do instructions to VA hired, VA proposed, VA blog proposed, and blog approved, blog uploaded or published, I should say. Okay, and then I'm also going to create blog video created as well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do basically here is this is the status. So depending on what status we're in on the project, it will be uploaded. So for example, when I'm going to add my VA, so I'm going to click on share, click on base, click on invite by link, click on create link, and I'm going to give a copy of this link to my VA. That way they have access to this exact base, okay? And this base, they can then follow along, and I will record a tutorial to explain to them what's required. So for example, I will tell them, okay, so here is the name of the blog. Here is the inspiration of what I kind of want it to look like or what I want to do better. If there's any attachments relevant to it, and here I will put the instructions for the blog, okay? Now I can also create a column here, which is, I'll call it a checkbox. And basically, the reason why I do that is because when it's done, I want to tick it to say that it's done, okay? And I can also do published, like for example, so then I can choose the published date. So I'm going to put a date on when this is going to be published. And I can choose how I want it to be done. I like to use the friendly. Okay, so when I put the date, let's say it's going to be this date, it's going to be published, let's say, on this date, it will look friendly like that. I just like to do those dates like that. That's just my personal preference, okay? So now, what I'm going to do is I actually have a Uscreen review blog, and I've got a Kajabi review blog. And in these cases, for example, I've already hired those two people, okay? So I can also, what I'm going to do is put a currency, and I can actually put costs, right? So I know how much it costs me to actually do this. So for this blog, I did a $100. That's my quote for that one, or that's how much I've been willing to pay for this one. And we'll see. That's just so you kind of give me track of how much it's costing me to create those blogs. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is on the Uscreen review, for example, I'm going to go to here, and then let me just find the actual email that I sent to my VA. So this is the VA, and I sent him all the instructions. Okay, there you go. Hi, sir, I went ahead, ready to move ahead, and here's all the instructions. So I'm going to copy and paste this, and I'm going to go back to the Airtable and give him I'm going to put in all the instructions here on what to do, okay? Now, what I'm going to do, another thing that I just realized is Google Doc, okay? So Google Doc is where I'm going to now manage all my blogs. So for example, in this case, I actually didn't create a Google Doc for him, so I actually need to do that. But I did do a Google Doc for this other lady. So let me just let me just show you who I hired for that one. Judy Alice, that's the one. Okay, so I've given her all the instructions here like this, and I'll show you what I did. So here's the Google Doc for you to use and how to write this blog. So I'm going to open it up so I can show you what it looks like. Let me just put the instructions for this lady so it's clear on what it is. Now, if you look here, the instructions, you'll see that I actually recorded a little video explaining to her what I want done as well. Okay, so this is my entire instructions. And then what I'm going to do is, this is the Google Doc that I created for her just to make her life easier. And this is what I did. Basically, I wrote Kajabi blog, and then I had it up. So I want her to write something about digital products, something about email marketing, websites, blogs, campaigns, sales funnels, communities, and so on. And you could see all the details of what I want her to write about here below. So it's very, very detailed on what I actually want her to do. Obviously, that's like a whole different topic on how to create a Google Doc, which is, done this way. This is not the topic of this particular video, but this is just to give you an idea on how I use Airtable to create a project management for something that I'm going to do. The reason I like to do this way is because I want to create a base that is only available for my VAs. So now what I'm going to do is I can actually choose. I can also, now here's what else I'm going to do. So for example, VA, I can actually put the name of the VA. So let's just say collaborator. I can choose a collaborator, or I could just actually choose an actual name. So collaborator, notify collaborators have been added, create field, and then, okay, so there's no collaborator options here. So I need to, now, if I'm going to give access to these VAs, then they'll know what the instructions here are. Now, in this case, I don't actually want to do it that way. I don't want to give them access to this necessarily, for the simple reason that I don't want them to see how much I'm paying them each. That's not really what I want to do. And also another thing is they don't need to see my entire business plan for all of my blogs, okay? So that's just an example of something that you can use. Now, if you were to look here, if I want to, let's say, delete this, I can click on delete field. If I want the Google Doc to be a little bit earlier, then I can do it here. And let me just grab this one because this is an important one. So I'm going to put it right here on the Kajabi. I need to create a Google Doc for the use screen for this guy. And then this blog that I saw, I was like, yeah, this blog, I really like this blog. So I'm going to use this as inspiration, for example. Now, what I mean by that is, let's just say there's this picture, which is a picture that I want to have in my blog. So I'm going to click on save image. Okay. And then I'm going to call this Kajabi Partner Affiliate Program Levels. And that's the name of this one, reward levels. Save. And now I'm going to upload this attachment like this and grab it from here. And here you go. Now I can actually use this picture as well. There's nothing confidential about this picture. And I can actually reuse it. Obviously, you don't want to reuse everything because that's something that you, depending on if there's, you don't want to copy it in a way that's unethical or violates trademarks or anything, but that won't be an issue with this case. So this is a really good one. Another thing in this case, for example, I will write instructions on what I want done with the blog for my VA and stuff like that. And I would record any instructions on Loom. So for example, if I want to, like the instructions, I usually do a video. I did a video on the Kajabi one. Okay, so here's the video. I'm just going to copy it just so you can kind of see what it looks like. And this is always recorded with Loom, which is a Chrome extension. And then what I'm just going to show it to you now. And this video, they can basically play with it. So I'm going to click on play. And it's a 4-minute video. Hey, Jody, Alice, I'm just going to give you the instructions on Kajabi and what's required. So I'm going to give you this link. So then I walk her through every step of the way and so on. I've emailed her the instructions, so I'm not going to give her access to this. Now, just to give you an idea on other things as well, you've got different things like multiple select. So basically status, like this one is single select. So you can only have one. If I was to do multiple select, that means that I can have more than one option. I can actually have a few of these bullets, a few of these items. If I want to get a phone number, an email, if I want to do by number, percentage, how long something takes. This I also use with one of my assistants, one of my VAs, because I pay her by the hour. So then she keeps track of how long things take here as well. If I want to do rating and these other things here, which I'm not even familiar with all of them, but there's different things that you can actually set up and use. So there you go. So that's really handy. These are the main ones that I actually use, and you'll find that I use pretty much everything. Everything that I organize, that's what I do. So here I can always, like, if I have an idea, what's really good about it is if I have an idea on okay, oh, I've got an idea for a really good blog. So like I was going through and I found this guy's blog and I thought this is a really good blog. I like it. I want to model something similar, and that's awesome. Okay. Now he's got other blogs as well, which may be something that I'll be interested in. Now let's just say that I'm going to do Kajabi custom code blog, just to see what other things come up. Okay, so I'm gonna find a blog that somebody wrote about the Kajabi custom code, and doesn't look like there's a lot. Oh, there you go. So this one there is, and I can actually have a look about this particular blog and see if there's something that I like in terms of the custom CSS, basically, which is the coding aspect. So I'm gonna copy this, put it here as inspiration. Kajabi custom CSS. Custom CSS is just a coding language, basically. I don't even know how to do that, but I know kind of roughly what it means. And I'm going to click on to do. Once something is approved, I can actually change it forward and kind of make it kind of progress it along. And that's about it. So this is just the idea of how I want this. And then the other thing is, if I want to do it so it's, I could make a column for publish. I can also do a date for started. So in this case, let me just do it friendly again. And I'm going to put a date for this one. I think I gave the instructions like 2 days ago. This one was also 2 days ago. So I'm now going to move it here like that. And that way it kind of more makes sense. It has the sequence. The done, I can drag it to this. And cost, I can leave it here. Publish, I can leave it here. Inspiration, that's fine. I can move it a bit in here. Attachments, I could put it here as well. Status, that's fine. The status I can actually put here as well. So it's kind of, I know exactly where things are at next to the name, because it kind of makes sense better to do it this way. And notice that I can actually open up more. Now, if I want to change the sequence as well, like I want to start with those that are at the top, I can go this way. And also the other thing you could do is you can actually create a sorting, so you can actually sort by category. So if I want to sort by the date or by inspiration or whatever, so if I want to do by when something started, I can actually do that. Okay. Now you'll see that this puts all these at the very bottom. I could do it here, click on this, and then it will basically sort it by the date. So always the blog that I'm writing, let's say I have 20 blogs here, whatever blog I'm actually starting, let's say I'm going to create this blog right here, like that. Now I'm going to say this date, okay, we're starting it today, and then it will automatically move it right to the top. So I know this is the latest blog that I've now instructed. Now I can delete it, and then it will move it back to exactly where it was. So you can kind of play around with it and see how good this is. There's so many features here. It really is like just a great software. I really like using Airtable. It's just really easy to use. And that's about it. So hope you got value from this video. There is other things that I use. So for example, if I want to do it Kanban view, I can actually set it up. So you see the status. I can actually categorize the sequence as well. And you can do it in this view. Personally, I don't really care because I don't use the Kanban view. I use the grid view. I prefer that. That's my personal preference. I'm just going to delete this view. And then you could do other things as well. The only one that's pro version, like it's a paid version, it's this one. Otherwise, all of these options are actually free. So you can play around with it and see which one you like. I personally like to do grid. That's my personal favorite. But again, if you want to do Kanban view, then that's something you can do as well. Hope you got value from this. If you have any questions, let me know. This is Airtable tutorial on how I use one base to kind of create something that I can manage. Thanks a lot, and I'll speak to you soon.